Actress Brianne Howey is back for season 3 of the hit Netflix show Ginny in Georgia. And this season, Georgia continues to stop at nothing to protect herself and her children, even if that means going to prison. Sonny, take note. Take a look.
How are you guys? You okay?
Do they have gangs in there? Do they make, like, weapons out of shoelaces?
Do you have deodorant? Listen, the fancy lawyer thinks it's important for you guys to be at the arraignment, okay? But you don't have to come if you don't wanna.
Mom, we're going.
Okay. It's to show that I'm needed at home.
Well, I can say that Paul is pretty much a stranger and that we need our mom. I could say that he smells really bad, or that he doesn't feed us.
Okay, we're not trying to get me arrested, too.
Please welcome Brianne Howey.
You look amazing. So I'm obsessed with the show.
Really is.
I already watched the entire season in the screener.
You already finished it?
I finished it all, yeah.
She finished
My
it.
husband's like, were you going to come out of the room? I'm struggling, actually,
sure.
but it's excellent.
We need a support group afterwards.
Yes, exactly. So for those who haven't watched, it's a single mom who will stop at nothing, murder included, to protect her family.
True.
This has become just a global hit. You're already renewed for season 4.
We are.
Oh, why do you think I could? Yeah, I can't wait. Why do you think it's resonated so much?
You know, I think it's very representative of the modern day authentic experience of these high schoolers and everything that they're dealing with, as well as the really complicated relationship, of course, between Ginny and Georgia. It's very nuanced, and so much of the show is just a conversation starter. We're not glorifying anything, we aren't judging anything, but we're starting conversations, and that's what I'm really grateful for.
And at the heart of the show is the complicated relationship with Georgia and her teenage daughter, Ginny. And there's a lot of love between the two of them, but there's also a lot of pain. And have you heard from viewers that watching the show has helped them process their relationships with their mother or their children?
Literally, yes, that exactly. A woman came up to me and said that she actually did not have the relationship with her mom that maybe she hoped or envisioned, and watching the show sort of helped her mourn that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And understand the mom, I would think.
Exactly.
And kind of showed the other perspective where you can walk in those shoes. But I also love the show. I'm binging season 3. I'm not as good as Alyssa. But the last time we saw George, she had been arrested for murder, as we've mentioned, but this would be her 3rd murder.
Yeah, just 3.
But who's counting, right? Who's counting? What are you allowed to tell us about season 3?
Right. Look, this is our most emotional, most dramatic season. I think it poses a lot of really great questions about if Ginny and Georgia really are better off together or apart, and the lengths that you go to for your loved ones. And, you know, Ginny and Georgia take a page out of each other's book this season, and we see a whole new side of both of them. And this is really Georgia's breakdown season.
Wow.
To get to our breakthrough.
Yeah, the breakthrough, you need that. Well, since the last time you were here with us, you had a baby.
I did. I did.
She'll be 2 years old next week.
Yeah, any minute now.
Now, I get asked this question, and I want to ask you, have you found that mysterious work-life balance that everybody claims exists?
No, that's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
No, or I haven't discovered it. No, there are plenty of days and weeks where my work demands more of me, and there are days and weeks where my family demands more of me.
Yeah, it's not. Why is it such a thing to
I don't know, but let's get rid of that.
Yeah.
Because it makes you feel bad, as if then you can't accomplish both of these things, as if you're supposed to.
Well, has motherhood changed you?
Definitely. I mean, it changes your priorities.
Right.
It changes. I mean, I didn't think I would identify more with Georgia having a baby, but it's true. You would literally do anything.
Yes,
for
you
that.
would.
Sonny would murder. So Brienne, earlier this year, you starred with Amy Schumer in Kind of Pregnant. We had her on for it.
That's right.
You still have the belly she brought us.
She brought us bellies.
It's so cute.
But there's this incredible scene in the movie where your character talks about her birth story, and it's kind of traumatic. And I learned that was your actual birth story.
That's right.
So how did it make it into the movie? And for those who don't know, tell what happened.
So Amy called me the night before we started shooting that scene, and it was just a much simpler scene. It was still a great scene, but it was pretty simple. And she said, what if we up the ante? How often have you heard people talk about their birth stories? Do you even know your birth story? And I was like, no, I've never heard my own birth story. So she said, would you be willing to share your birth story on set tomorrow? And I said, you know, when Amy says jump, you say how high? Yes, I will. And I'm really grateful to her. We got to have this really vulnerable moment, and it sort of felt like a little detour in the movie. But yes, basically, I had my daughter. Everything was going totally fine. I had a really easy, breezy labor. But then afterwards, when she was laying on my chest, I did start bleeding out quite a bit.
Oh, wow.
And I was in such heaven because she was perfect, and I had her on my chest. But I could tell things were going awry. The doctor was on the phone, more people were coming in the room. So, and it was, I mean, it was very, very
And your husband noticed like something was wrong.
He was, yeah, I had never seen him look so scared. So that's really when I clocked maybe something was
And when the
happening.
people start coming in the room.
Yeah, I'm like, you weren't here before, you weren't here before.
Speaking of unconditional love and doing anything, there was a hot topic recently about a woman who has dogs and was upset because she wasn't celebrated on Mother's Day. And although I don't mind as a pet mom if I'm celebrated on Mother's Day, I love you more because you have a rescue named Bodhi, and it sounds like we might feel the same way about this.
Oh, look at Bodhi.
This is my firstborn, yes. Yes, his name is Bodhi.
Thank you.
It took me, he's my first pet. It took me this long in my life to have a pet. I had no idea what I was missing out on. And he's the love of our life, yeah. He's very jealous of his sister, though. He's having a little bit of a hard time.
That's just like the sibling rivalry. It works
Exactly.
itself out.
He likes her a lot more now that she drops all of her food for him.
Oh, yes, they love that.
What is your
friends.
daughter's name?
Siggy, S-I-G-I. It's a family name.
Siggy.
So
Yeah.
cool. Well, you know,
Siggy and Brody.
and it's
Yeah,
cool that you
Bodhi.
rescued. It's cool that you
Yeah,
rescued.
he was 8 weeks old.
Yeah, if more people rescued animals, we would have no kill shelters in the United States. So, the fact. Now, you were recently asked about your career bucket list.
That's right.
And you said that you have a goal of being in a Broadway show.
I do.
Which show?
Look, I've always dreamed about getting to do something maybe like Tony Kushner's Angels in America, to play Harper. It's something we worked on a lot in college, and it's always held a really special place in my heart.
Wow.
Oh, that's just a matter of time.
Yeah, put it out in the universe.
Thank you for asking.
How about a musical comedy?
You know, I am less of a singer and dancer. I don't know that anyone needs to see that.
We can get
But
you
a straight
lessons.
play. I'm all for it.
She's gonna ask you to be in her play.
Yes.
My
You
first
could go to my play.
MyFirstExHusband.com.
Yeah, but it's not.
Do you wanna
it's not-
kill him?
It's not Broadway, and it's not a murder. Thanks to Brianne, Howey, season 3 of Ginny and Georgia is out on Netflix now.